Welcome back, everyone, to episode 54 of The Angry Chicken, the Hearthstone podcast. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and I'm joined, as always, by Jocelyn Moffitt.
I'm so excited right now, and I don't even know why.
You know why? Because I'm slightly less excited than I am for most episodes, and you know why?
Because we're not at BlizzCon anymore?
Yeah, because we're not at BlizzCon. I mean, the last time we did one of these, I was looking at you like you were right there.
Right here. Right here.
I could flick my my physical Hearthstone coin at you, and it would actually hit you. And then
Which I'm pretty sure you did more than once.
Right, and then you would
hit me with various objects.
And then Jocelyn would actually hit me in return with a fist. But
fists of justice.
yeah, you know those. Is that a thing? Are you campaigning for Jocelyn's Fist of Justice to be a new Paladin card?
It totally should be.
That's what we're doing. Hoping that's going to be in GVG, as all the cool kids are referring to Goblins versus Gnomes as.
I love that hashtag, by the way.
I do too. I like it. It's just like
it's so like short and easy.
Although every time I see it, I'm just like, is it like good versus game? Because I see GG, and that's what comes to mind. And now I'm thinking good versus game.
Oh, you just wrecked it.
Yeah. Which now it has a good ring in my head. So should I ever start a gaming review show or column, I think I'll call it good versus game. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be like the quality of what is good versus no. Okay. All right. So thank you, my test panel of one person from Canada. That's my target demographic is Jocelyn.
Canadians are usually so nice that if I'm telling you it's lame, it's like really lame. I'm trying to save your feelings.
So if we're going off of stereotypes, since I'm from Florida, I'm on meth and probably want to get naked and chew someone's face off.
Yes.
That's okay.
That's pretty much how I operate all the time when I'm talking to you. Is I'm like, whoa, we're like
at any
2
point.
seconds away from naked face chewing Garrett all the time.
which is a couple evolutions beyond whiskey Garrett. So it's fine. It doesn't that hasn't come out since like 93. You don't need to worry about it. Someone's gonna do the math and find out I was like 5 or something in 93, and they're just gonna be like, that's just even more disturbing now. But anywho.
Back to this show that we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Dills is absent this week. He's I believe he's sick. He's still been traveling. He hasn't stopped traveling since BlizzCon. So I think he's picked up multiple con cruds. It's become this perfect storm of disease and wretchedness that's incubating inside his body.
Yeah, he pretty much got home and just like collapsed.
Yeah, that's what I expected. I expected. Yeah, because I texted him today. He's just like, oh, dude, it's not good.
Yep.
So you see the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Worse.
No comment.
So yeah, we're gonna 2-man this thing.
I know. Fun. We got this.
We've done it plenty of times. Let's be honest.
That's true.
We're no strangers to this. We're no strangers. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's get into this week's news.
Good news, everyone!
So Goblins versus Gnomes, we talked about it on the live at BlizzCon Angry Chicken. It's been announced. We got to look at a lot of cards, and we're still trying to figure out how the hell we're going to do a review, if we even have time to do a review. So we're entirely sure on how to handle our week to week as cards get announced and whatnot. But anyways, over on the official Hearthstone site, they're revealing a card every couple of days, and you can actually vote for one of 2 cards that you want revealed next. And that's how they've been doing it. And thus, through this system, 3 cards have been previewed since the big announcement, and we got the first look at a big group of cards. And now 3 more cards have been previewed through the system. So have you been voting, Jocelyn?
Of course I've been voting, and I always vote for the red card.
I've always voted for the blue, so that's interesting.
Why do you always vote blue?
Well, because lately I feel like all the priest cards have been in blue, and they all look. I don't know. I'm just really interested in priests lately.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've been voting red because Horde. Red versus blue, which is clearly Horde versus Alliance. Duh.
Okay, well, and I think red versus blue, I think of Halo, but okay. Fair enough. I'll give you that. I don't know. I'm a man without a country because I played Alliance first and then went to Horde around Lich King, and I have ties to both. I get very nostalgic about Night Elves, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if I think about WoW right now, I just think of Blood Elf Paladin because that's what I played the hell out of. So I don't know. I just like elves. That's really what it boils down to. So
Yeah. Chat room's calling me dumb. I'm not dumb. We're going to get a new card either way. We're going to get all the cards eventually. So it's all random anyway.
You're dumb for your opinion.
Yeah.
It's like she didn't say 2 + 2 is green, people. That's dumb.
But it could be.
This is just you don't agree with it. Anywho.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, let's take a look at some of these cards, Jocelyn, shall we? The first one that was revealed through the voting was on November 12th, and it was the Illuminator, which is a 3-mana neutral minion. It has 2 attack, 4 health, so it kind of passes the vanilla test. I'm not I'd like a little more attack, but it still has more stats than the mana you're paying for it, which is always a good thing. But it also reads, if you control a secret, at the end of your turn, restore 4 health to your hero.
Which is insane. Like, mages with freaking ice block? Oh my god.
I was not expecting insane to come out of your mouth in reference to a 4 health heal.
Well, okay, honestly, you have that secret through the entire game, which means that as long as this minion is alive, if you can keep it alive as a mage, then you're just sitting there healing constantly.
That's a very good point. I was thinking like, oh, secrets, they always get popped, but you're absolutely right. Ice block just kind of sits there
forever.
That being said, 4 health minion doesn't really just sit there. That's not impossible to remove.
Yeah, but I don't know. If you can put it behind some taunt, buff it up a little, like, you're going to get some serious heals out of that card. 4 health that's pretty big. Yeah. Everyone goes nutso over the Earthen Ring Farseer, and that only heals you for 3 once. This heals you for 4 over and over and over.
Right, but you also, the thing you got to keep in mind with the Earthen Ring Farseer is it's guaranteed. You don't have to have a secret to get that value out of it. You're getting 3 for 3 and a heal for 3. So it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's guaranteed, it's value, let's do this thing. Whereas this is like, well, I have to be running a secret deck for it to be worth it. But
true,
you're right.
It does actually say if on the card.
Right. So it's you're coming around. You're making me come around on this card. It's not a bad card.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I really like the art on this card. I saw it and I was like, wow, I want one of these, like a physical copy of this.
There's some great art just overall in the set, which was not one of the things I was expecting to go into this being like, oh yeah, hell yeah, awesome art. Because I've talked about how I'm not a big fan of the short races in WoW. I've never been big on the Gnomes or the Goblins for that matter. But there's some fabulous art in here. The Goblin Sapper, just as far as art is concerned, I don't have an image to throw up on the screen for everyone, but I love that illustration.
Which one is it?
If you go to the link at the bottom, it's actually right next to the Illuminator. It's a 3-mana 2/4, has +4 attack while your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand. But I have no opinion about the card itself. I just like the illustration.
I see.
It's like they slapped a shark head on a goblin and called it done. I love it. I love how they drew the goblin's face on this thing. It's very pointy. I don't know. Anyway, nonetheless, so the Illuminator, you're liking it, you're digging it, you're gonna play it.
I think probably if I go back to playing Mage, I haven't played Mage in a really long time. I usually pick Mage in Arena. So in Constructed, I just kind of stay away from it. I haven't had a whole lot of. Not necessarily I haven't had success with Mage in Constructed, but I haven't had fun with Mage in Constructed. So I've stayed away from it. But this might bring me back. This could be cool.
Yeah, that's when we were in very early Hearthstone era, I was playing a lot of Rogue, and for whatever reason I kind of lost the fun. I started just having less and less fun playing Rogue, so I haven't really touched Rogue in a while.
I have been really falling out of love with a lot of classes, so
have you?
I think I need to try mixing it up a bit. I played Priest and Hunter and Warlock pretty exclusively for a long time there, so I think I need to mix it up, and I think this expansion is going to help with that a lot. Oh,
absolutely. And also, I always just keep coming back to Shaman and Priest. I cheat on them for a little while with like a warrior here and a mage there, but those are the two I always come back to. They were the two I was drawn to at the very beginning. And I always come back, and I always have a good time when I find a deck that kind of clicks. So, and also Cross in the chat room is absolutely right. The Explosive Sheep is the best art in the entire game.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's up. It's a bomb made out of bombs with like some sheep hair put on top of it. I love it.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, it's so freaking delightful. But let's take a look at the next card that was revealed, which was on November 14th, the Shield Maiden, which is a 6-mana warrior minion. It's 5 attack, 5 health for 6 mana, so not super exciting right there. But it also reads Battle Cry, gain 5 armor. I'm not in love with this card.
I totally had my mic muted. Sorry.
I'm gonna be doing that a lot.
You're not in love with this one.
I'm not. No, it's a little boring.
It is boring, but I mean, especially in those control warrior decks, 5 armor in a battle cry. I mean, you were just talking about how the Earthen Ring Farseer is a guaranteed effect, right? So you're guaranteed to get 5 armor and a 5/5 body for 6 mana. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible card. It's like, I didn't just go unplayable, stamp it with an F and move on. It's just, I'm just bored by it. In this expansion, everything we've seen so far, I'm just like, oh yeah, things explode. All this randomized elements. Other minions are popping out of minions like it's an overgrown apple tree. So the Shield Maiden, for whatever reason, it just makes me a little... I don't know.
Well, I mean, basically, I don't know. Is it because you've got shield block, which is gain 5 armor and draw a card, right? So it's like a shield block combined with a minion, but you lose the card draw, and shield block costs 3. So it's like, I feel like a lot of these cards are just costed so low. Like, I feel like, I mean, no one would obviously play this card if it was a 7-mana card, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, for 6, it's just so cheap.
Right. And chat room is bringing up the obvious combo, which is turn 7. You slam this and you shield slam for 5 to remove something, and you just smile, which is absolutely true. That is going to happen. This is a playable card.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I just remember seeing it like as one of the first. Because what was it we saw? The warrior card at BlizzCon was the Bouncing Blade, which just had so much flavor and so much life that it made me excited. So this one, I'm just like, I'll play it. But it just makes me kind of go,
Yeah. And I mean, and card draw is really important. I'm not necessarily saying that Shield Maiden is better than Shield Block. I'm just kind of trying to tie it into just the way that kind of if you want to call them vanilla cards were costed versus how this expansion seems to be costed. We seem to be getting a lot of really powerful cards for relatively lower mana cost. It was just the kind of point I was trying to make there.
I mean, obviously we haven't seen the whole set, so I'll be curious to see once we get a look at the whole thing. But I think we're going to kind of look at it overall, and I would be surprised if we didn't all kind of agree that it shifted our perspective on what's the word I'm looking for? On how much mana versus the quality of the card we expect. Mana efficiency. The word I was looking for.
Sorry. I was only half paying attention because chat room is just rocking it right now.
No, chat room is on fire tonight. They're just like, you jerk offs. You did your last episode at BlizzCon. You couldn't see the chat room, so we are here to stand up and be counted, and they're doing it. They're stacking multiple chairs to stand up.
And they are pointing out right now that since Alex is in a lot of decks, that armor is way better than health. So we're looking at these healing effects, and really, what we should be looking at is what's going to give warriors the most armor to kind of counteract this. And I think we've seen this in a lot of cards, is a lot of stuff that they're coming out with almost like directly counters some of the stuff that's been in the meta for a really long time. So like Alex is in a lot of decks, so there's got to be a way to counter that. So instead of nerfing her, you do things like give warriors a ridiculous amount of armor so that they can't just be knocked down to 15 so easily. So I'm really, really interested and excited about what they're doing with this expansion.
And if everyone's listening, they're like, why do they keep muting and whatnot? It's because we're both sick still.
Yeah, so, every single time I have a whole sentence going on, I'm just like, oh no, I'm gonna have to cough now.
Can't quite make it. We're stifling the coughs like total pros and breaking the fourth wall by informing you.
It wasn't bad until literally like a day ago, and now I have this weird cough throat thing, and I'm just like, God damn it, I was doing so well. I was just about to proclaim first BlizzCon and no crud, but it didn't. No,
I will say this is the best post-BlizzCon sickness I've had. Last year I got bronchitis. This year I got just a lingering cold. I will take a lingering cold with a runny nose and a sneeze every now and then any day over bronchitis. I just want to put that out there that it's fun. True. It's all fun.
So then what's the next one? This one that just came out most recently on the 17th.
Yeah, which was today, I believe. Yeah, today.
Oh my god, yeah, today.
Today is the 17th. Concrud may also give you a warped sense of time. Ancestor's Call, which is a 4-mana shaman spell, and it reads, put a random minion from each player's hand into the battlefield.
Yay! Random.
I am not sure I'll ever play this.
No, I don't think anyone's gonna play this.
This is horrifying, unless for 4 mana, unless there's like some kind of weird, not like handlock for shaman plan where you just make a shaman deck of nothing but huge scary minions, and your plan is to play this on turn 4 and then one on turn 5 and just get 2 big dudes out and hope that they don't get a big dude. I don't know. I'm just like,
well, that's the thing, because it's not just one out of your hand; it's their hand too. So, I can't think of a scenario where this would actually be something that I would be like, yes, I need that in my hand, because you never know what they're going to get, and you never know what you're actually going to have in your hand. So you can't just say, okay, my plan is to get 2 big guys out on 4 and 5 using this, using this spell, because you may not get them in your hand unless you just have no like 1, 2, and 3 drop minions, which would be a terrible plan.
Chatroom's making a decent point that since it's skipping Battle Cry, okay, that kind of sucks for you, but it is also skipping Overload, and shamans, because of Overload, their minions are generally a little stronger as a result. But
it's 4 mana though, which seems extremely expensive.
Or actually, no, I'm not even sure that is a good point. I'm trying to think of shaman minions specifically with Overload that are worth playing, and I can't think of any off the top of my head.
There's so many synergies now.
There's spells and weapons that are Overload. Like I'm like, oh, this would be great to get Spirit Wolves. Spirit Wolves is a spell. This isn't going to put that out.
Right.
And it wouldn't even. It's 4 mana. I can get Spirit Wolves out for 3 and then 2 on the next turn. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Earth Elemental, maybe. So that's one minion we can think of that you.
But
can
again,
have 2
like, what
copies
are
of.
The chances of all of these things happening? Like,
exactly.
It has to be such a specific board state, and you have to be playing against something that's like Zoo, which means that they're gonna get like some shit 1-drop, then you could just clear. If they're playing like Handlock, it could be like giant, boom.
Yeah. This card is kind of the opposite of what was the previous card we were looking at? The Shield Maiden. Shield Maiden is it's consistent. You know what you're getting, and I'll probably play it. Whereas this, when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I love the flavor of this. I probably won't run it in a normal deck. So I'm kind of having a swap here.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, it does fall into the whole theme of the expansion, which is randomness, and I am excited by that. I think it's really, really cool what they're trying to do, and I think we mentioned it when we were actually at BlizzCon, is that, you know, the points that Ben made about, you know, your reactions to randomness is actually making you a better player, or like kind of splits the good players from the not so good players, is just the ability to deal with this. So I think it's going to be really cool, but there's definitely some cards where you're just like, you know what, for that mana cost with that random word, even I can't get behind it, and I love random. I love fun. So I just, if even I'm not going to give it a shot, then maybe we went a little too far.
Yeah.
A little too far, Blitz.
The scenarios where I would be excited to play this card are few and far between. The best scenario is your opponent has no cards in hand.
That is true.
Which is...
What would you think about this card if it was put a random minion from your deck into the battlefield?
Then there would...
That's even more random.
Then you wouldn't even have the perfect scenario of them having no cards in their hand because it would just pull from their library.
Yes, yeah.
So I hate it even more.
Okay. That's the only change I could think of to this card that would kind of keep it with the same flavor, but just mix it up a little. But no, there's no good here.
Yeah, I can't find it. This is where I'm just like, man, I wish Dills was here. I'd love to hear what he had to say. But I'm not sure he'd have anything different to say. I'm not sure.
Probably.
But I'm not going to speak for him. So Well,
So before we move on too much, we did touch on the fact that they're letting people vote on what cards are going to be revealed next, and they have given us a December release date for Goblins versus Gnomes. So originally, I was thinking that they might release it kind of like the Tuesday before the January season, because I really didn't think we were going to get it for December 1st. But if you look at the voting page, the last reveal is set for November 28th. Do you think we're going to get it like December 1st?
don't ask me these questions.
Like I was fully on board with we're going to see it like December 30th. Then it's technically still December and it's going to be right before the start of a new season, as it should be. And then I saw this November 28th thing and I was like, oh my God, we could literally be like 2 weeks away from this expansion.
I honestly don't know what to say to that. I seriously don't know what my reaction is. Sure, it's possible. In my head, it just keeps telling me no. Like, no, too soon.
It's too soon, right? That's why I was so on board with January. But they're releasing cards like every other day, and the last card release is the 28th.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah, I would love. The other thing I can think of is like, well, maybe in the week in between they'll show the whole set. Maybe because I would love it if they would do that, because it certainly make our lives a lot easier if we decided to do a review. I'm not sure if they'll do that. This is something that Wizards does for Magic all the time, and it's wonderful. But I'm not sure we're gonna get that with Hearthstone. But I don't know. We'll have to see, Joss, because I don't know. The 1st of December just seems so hopeful. Like too hopeful. And since we're so close, I feel like if it was 2 weeks away, we would have known about it by now.
I think so. I think we would. I don't know. I feel like they're in this real fun space right now, and they're super excited about Goblins versus Gnomes. And I feel like they just want to surprise and overjoy us. And I feel like we're just gonna get and it's coming tomorrow type of a reveal.
Yeah,
I Ben Brode laugh.
Yeah, a little bit. I got that for you.
Perfect.
But I don't know. I'm stoked. I would not be disappointed to get it the last day in December either. So
yeah, I think I could go either way. My December's going to be pretty packed, so I would like to see it at the end of December when things calm down a little bit after Christmas, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, I want it now.
That being said, please, before Christmas. So, when those awkward conversations at the family Christmas dinner table start happening, and just, oh yeah, that's, you believe in what now? Oh, that's, okay, hold on a sec. Oh, I can't believe I drew that minion. That's so random and terrible.
See, I'm going to see my parents for like 5 days over Christmas, and they don't have Wi-Fi, which means I can't play.
Oh.
So it better be after the 28th when I get home.
It just sounds like you need to buy a new iPad and a plan. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I could do that.
I realize that's a $700 plan, but plus
missing 5 days of Hearthstone is unacceptable.
It is. It absolutely is. You can gazelle your old one. I'm sure you can get something for it, and
yeah,
we'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll do a drive. The Save Jocelyn from a Boring Christmas drive. That's what we'll do.
You make my family sound awful.
I made my own family sound awful, and honestly, I get along really great with my family. It was just a funny anecdote. Except that one person in my family, you know who you are. You know who you are. Always causing all the trouble. So anyways, moving on. Zariah made a huge post this past week on the official forums, answering a lot of frequently asked questions about Goblins versus Gnomes.
Is there a release date in there? Because I didn't read the wall of text.
There isn't. Yeah, they decided to announce the release date in a forum post.
Well, you never know.
They're not going to do an official post on the main page of the website with some crazy artwork and some fanfare. No, they're just going to, hey, Zariah, here's the date. Could you just post I know you're about to post
hide it somewhere in
a novella.
A giant wall of text.
Could you just hide it in there? Thank you.
Write it out so there aren't even any numbers that people could possibly skim for.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing. See, and that's the kind of thing I feel like Team 5 would do. I feel like they're totally going to troll us.
So, anyways, to try and we kind of narrowed this down to some key points that Zariah made, because it's a long post. And you should go read the whole thing in full, because it's a very interesting read, and there's a lot of good things that she mentions there. But Zaraya said that one of the most difficult parts of game design is to put yourself in the shoes of someone that has never experienced your game before, and that as a veteran Hearthstone player, it may be hard to see from that vantage point, but it's something they always have to keep in mind. She was speaking in reference to increasing the deck slots that players have, because it's a constantly requested feature by veteran players. Or we're assuming by veteran players, or she's kind of making the point here, because she went on to say that the UI needs to stay intuitive and easy to navigate, especially for new players, and that adding too much complexity can turn new players away from the game. And she also said that the collection manager can already be a daunting experience. This going back to that previous point, that it's just like, yeah, it's not a daunting experience to you guys because you've logged, for hours upon hours into this game. But Christmas, someone gets a new iPad, what's the hot app? Oh, look, Hearthstone, pulls it down for the very first time, and they get in, and there's 40 deck slots and an insane card collection. It is a good point. And this is coming from someone who wants as much complicated bullshit as anyone could pack into the game. But I totally understand this. Because look at Hearthstone. The UI is so delightfully simple and slimmed down and easy to navigate and instantly recognizable. So,
very true.
Yeah.
And I know, because I've tried to teach my mom actually to play Hearthstone, and she finds it really complicated, and she couldn't get into it because she's just like, wait, I have what cards, but I don't have other cards, and how do I find the things? And wait, I have to build a deck now? And, she's an extraordinarily intelligent woman, but she just it was just that little bit too complicated for her to really get into. So I can see this argument, and we definitely get way too far into the fact that we've just been playing forever. So I do think that we lose the new player experience. And I know I was showing my friend Sarah, because she really wanted the Halloween card back. So I was showing her, how to play and how to ladder and stuff. And just, she'd never really played too much of it before. And then going in and even trying to build a zoo deck, she only had half the cards, and most of them are commons, and you forget what it's like to open up that 100% fresh Hearthstone experience and all the things that you have to learn that we just take for granted now.
I thoroughly enjoy playing on Katie's account because she doesn't play a lot. And she's strictly free to play. She has bought nothing with money. She has almost no cards. And actually, I remember on Halloween night, the day before the season ended and we got our Halloween card backs, we're sitting there watching Nightmare Before Christmas. She goes, oh my God. And I'm like, what? She's like, I never got to rank 20. I really want that pumpkin card back. And then she proceeded to fall asleep. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get you your pumpkin card back. And I'm like putting together this mage deck like it's the plane in the Flight of the Phoenix. I'm bubble gum and freaking paper clips to put together a deck that can get me to rank 20 in an hour. From, I think it was all the way down to 24. She hadn't played in a little while because she'd been doing a lot of traveling. And I did it. I didn't lose a single game, so I got a win streak, and I was just like, oh, thank God, because I didn't think I was going to make it. But I really like playing on her account, because the crap you see at rank 25 3 weeks into the season is just bizarre, and you have no idea. There is no metagame, and it's incredibly reactionary. I'm not making fun. It's really interesting to play, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
I enjoy the meta at all the different levels in the ladder. I think it's really cool how fast it changes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, back to Zaraya's points. I totally get that. I get not wanting to make it more cluttered. And then if just that discussion about their philosophy behind UI design was enough, she also dropped the nugget of also the majority of players don't utilize all their deck slots that are already there. Mm-hmm. Or even use all of their decks regularly is another thing she put in there. I very rarely have
totally me. I have, I think, all my deck slots full except for possibly one, because I like to keep one open in case I'm playing random decks with friends. So I usually keep one slot open, but I only play probably 3 of my decks religiously. So I always try new stuff, and I don't take the time to learn it properly, and I'm really, really bad at that. And then they just sit there.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I can't remember the last time I had all 9 deck slots filled. I think at most I have 6. Most of the time it's just 3, and those are getting deleted and recreated into something new, or who knows what. Lately, the most recent thing I was doing was my stupid Paladin token deck because I had a bunch of Paladin dailies, and I was like, into unranked I go. But yeah, so that's I don't know. I don't see the need for new deck slots. I personally don't need them. I'm not clamoring for it, and I feel like a lot of folks, and if you talk to the guys on the team too, they're just like, everything's not as simple as people think it is. We don't just add 1 deck slot and just poof, it appears in the game. It's just like, well, no, the UI was built from the ground up for 9 slots, and we're gonna break the shit out of everything if we add a 10th. It's not that simple. I always make the analogy to Warcraft, because I played WoW since vanilla, and it seems like anytime a patch rolls out, something seemingly completely unrelated breaks. I remember when the pre-Lich King patch rolled out and animals were floating in the Grand. I'm like, well, this isn't Northrend. I don't know why there's a bug here, but apparently something somewhere broke here. I don't know why.
Someone put a 1 when it should have been a 0.
Exactly. So that kind of, I don't know. People, I think, oversimplify. So, anywho, that's neither here or there, and that's not a point. I don't think that was a point she brought up, but yeah. The other point that they were talking about is the choice of card packs. Come Goblins versus Gnomes. She said that allowing choice of both card packs in Arena may be a simple fix, but they need to take the long term into consideration. She said that we can't expect our new players to be able to look at a pack and know all of the cards they might get out of the set, then choose that set as their reward. This being we had people talking about this at our live show at BlizzCon.
I was gonna say, yeah, we have an email about it too. So
oh, do we? Okay.
I don't want to go too much into this. I'm pretty sure I put that one in. Hang on, let me double check.
I think you did too. I skimmed over them real quick. I'm pretty sure that's in there. But still, nonetheless, this a lot of people have been talking about this. Okay. Yeah.
So we will be talking about this.
Okay. All right. But nonetheless, I kind of agree with her here as well. But we'll get into more of that later in emails. Also on the subject of bringing way more silence into the games, Araya said that too much of silence can homogenize the meta. Silence shouldn't be the only answer to cards with keywords or text on them. It should be an option. Again, kind of hard to argue. I find it hard to argue with this response.
I really like when you have choice in the game. You know, like you have the option to go in and silence something, but that leaves, whatever stats are on the board. You have the option to go in with like a hard removal or, possibly just weaken the cards and trade with minions. And I like having all those different choices. I don't want the ability to just silence everything and just end up making it stats versus stats, and constantly like, well, who traded the best and, who hit face when they should have. I like a little bit more complication and choice in the game. So I agree. And I don't want to see any more silence. I think that there's plenty. There's enough neutral minions that have the silence mechanic that I really don't think that we need much more. I get frustrated playing against priests that get to silence stuff for low mana cost. Like it gets really, really frustrating because you're so excited to play this minion and all of a sudden like you play it and you don't even get to use it before it's just like, oh, silenced, So I can see they've talked before about how they don't want to, how they want the game to be fun and they don't want you to be discouraged from playing certain cards or minions. So I can see, I agree with this completely.
Yeah. To go just dive a little deeper is the lack of silence, or the fact that if you want a lot of it, you have to play one specific class. If you think of it outside of the norm, or say you're not used to the current meta in Hearthstone, and you're not used to seeing the Ironbeak Owl played, it's kind of impressive in a weird way. Just follow me here on this. It's kind of amazing that card is ever seen in pro games, because it's kind of a shitty card.
It is, yeah.
Got 1 health and 2 attack, but because it has this effect when it enters the board, you're seeing it in top level tournament decks. And I, for one, kind of find that super interesting, because I don't know. I feel like it would get I mean, it kind of goes in line with what they're saying here. They're saying homogenization. You could sub that word out. It might get a little boring. If every card was just a no-brainer, like, oh, that card's Amazeballs, just throw it in with my 28 other Amazeballs cards.
Which I was a little bit worried about with this expansion because it seems to be costed so well. I was thinking that we were going to get a lot of the same decks, but then I was thinking about it and I'm like, we have 120 cards, and if they're all costed like this and they're all pretty amazing, then when you combine that with the amazing cards from the original vanilla packs, whatever you want to call them, then I think we're going to get some really, really cool decks. And I don't want to see that kind of neutered with just a ton of silence.
Agreed. Except now we've seen Ancestor's Call, so now I'm thinking that probably everyone's not a winner.
Well, yes, that's true. That is true.
And it's for the Shaman, which makes me sad.
I know.
Very sad. There goes
I saw that and I was like, Shaman card. Oh,
one more Shaman card I'm not
Garrett's
particularly excited about. Not one more Shaman card I'm not excited about. Right up there with Farsight and honestly the Rebirth it's Reincarnation now.
Yes, yeah.
It was originally called Rebirth, which made no sense because that's a druid spell. Yeah, honestly, I don't like Reincarnation that much. I've barely used it. It's kind of poopy. So, not as bad as Farsight, but yeah. Sure. Anyways. And then finally, Zaraya did say that there will be a new card to help deal with secrets in Goblins versus Gnomes. And then proceeded to say nothing more and not tell us what the card was, and we all wept as a result.
But that's okay, because obviously it's going to be something neutral, because from the sounds of it, if you're going to deal with secrets, that, like, she didn't say so that warriors can deal with secrets or something, so I think we're looking at a neutral card here, and it's probably going to be something along the lines of Flare, where you're just going to be able to destroy a secret. If I had to guess, I would say destroy a random secret just to keep it in line with the deck, the expansion. So, I mean, given how cheap Flare is, we're probably going to see like a 1-mana secret removal card, I would think.
Ooh, really?
Well, if you think about it, like, Flare is 1 mana and you get to, oh my god, all minions lose stealth, you destroy an enemy secret and you get a card.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, right. But if you think about other class-specific cards, there's ridiculous cards that are locked out by class.
No, and that's true.
Okay.
But I think that if we're looking at a card that's going to get rid of secrets, and if I'm right, and it gets rid of a random secret, usually having the random word in there brings down the cost a little. Well, you can't get very much lower than 1 mana to do all of that crazy Flare stuff. So I think we're going to be looking at either a free secret removal or a 1-mana secret removal. Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, it could be tied to a minion too, which would be interesting.
That's what I think you might be being a little too literal. It's just like, well, this one card that removes secrets is 1 mana, so we obviously have to get cheaper. I think we get more expensive and slap it on a minion that's actually worth playing. And it would get a lot of people, myself, very excited.
What if you could steal a secret?
Oh, well, then it wouldn't be very much of a secret, would it? It would no longer be a secret. It would be...
No, but your opponent would know what it was.
What would you call this? Jerk-off kid who looks at his Christmas presents before Christmas? Like...
this is the jerk-off kid card.
Oh, well, you found your gifts. Now you're not getting them. We're taking them all back. And then the kid cries. And I wouldn't be against that, but then it would no longer be a secret.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily agree with that line of thinking, but I could see Team 5 making that argument. Like, well, guys, they're called secrets. It's not really a secret if you can steal it, and then both you sons of guns know what it is, and the opposing player who had it stolen knows how to play around it. Granted, they still have to play around it.
They still have to play around it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. There's a lot of times where, given, the meta or, by testing or whatever, you end up figuring out what the secret is, or what the secret is. For a while there, it's like, well, I'm playing against a hunter. The only thing that hunters run right now is explosive trap, so therefore I know that's an explosive trap, and you play around it. So
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know. I know.
And I could be very wrong. Who knows? Ben Brode might be listening to this right now and be like, why are you saying that? We would never say that. We agree with you. Like, who knows? But yeah, we'll have to find out. Also, Jocelyn, like on your business card, it says, TAC host and devil's advocate. I'm surprised you're
I know.
I felt the need to even explain that. You are the permanent devil's advocate on this show.
So true.
So, anywho, again, make sure to go read Zariah's post in full. A lot of good tidbits in there. We just grabbed some of the juicy bits. As moving on, what?
Grab the juicy bits.
Grab the juicy. I guess that's probably not the best choice of words, but moving onwards and upwards out of the hole I just dug, the Banhammer has fallen again, and this time it had Mega Wind Fury. So this was phase 2 of get rid of the botters. This is a quote from Blizzard. It says, "In our continued efforts to promote a fair play environment within Hearthstone, we have permanently banned several thousand Hearthstone accounts found to be using third-party programs that automate gameplay, which is a violation of our terms of use." So there you go. Thousands of people.
I didn't think
banned.
that this was going to happen so quickly.
Oh, I did.
Really?
I did.
Permanent bans?
Yeah, I did. I think that first wave was just like, all right, let's see how good our ban detection software is. And then they send it out, and I'm sure they got some type of feedback and verification. And we're like, okay, cool. Now we can permanently ban these jerks.
Wow. I wonder if it was the same, like if some of the same people who were banned originally for 3 months, if they were included in this permaban.
I can't help but think I'm sure there were repeat offenders. People who got banned are like, all right, well, I'm just going to grab a new credit card, open a new account, and start
Oh, yeah.
buying
No.
again.
I mean, like, what I was talking about is accounts that were banned for 3 months, if they were full-on botting accounts, if they had been permanently banned as part of this wave. Or if they kind of got exempt because they'd already been banned for...
No way to verify that. I would assume that they probably didn't go back to them and just be like, oh, just kidding, permabanned.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it would work like that, but yeah, again, they didn't mention it, so I'm not sure. So that'd be interesting, to say the least.
Inquiring minds want to know.
All right, well, if you were banned and then perma-banned, let us know. We'll add it to the list of emails we never expected to get. Like the gentleman who wrote in with that really long, well-written email about, hey, I'm a botter, and here's why. Didn't expect to get that email. Had a good time talking about that even with Yong Woo at BlizzCon.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a nice conversation. I remember him just going kind of like, you got an email from someone like that? Because he hadn't heard the most recent email or episode. And I'm like, yeah, we were just as surprised as you are right now. But... Yeah.
So I don't know, for whatever reason, I kind of thought that they would wait until the 3-month ban was over before doing anything else. So I think this is it's definitely interesting.
Well, that's what makes me think it's none of the people who were banned in that first wave. I'm just assuming. It's my assumption. Again, no verification, but I don't know. I don't bot, so I'm not worried.
Oh no, I'm not at all either. But I'm just this whole situation I find so interesting.
Oh, I do too, and believe me, I've been playing some WoW, and man, I would love to bot some farming right now and just make an obscene amount of gold on the auction house, but I like my account, so I'm not going to do that. Anyways, that's more or less it for news this week. Lots of fallout from BlizzCon. I'm surprised how much there still was to talk about without getting a release date. I mean, BlizzCon, we're still in the shadow of it. Just a quick mention, if you want to check out some other BlizzCon goodies on the amove.tv site, Kyle and I actually just recorded a 187th episode of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast, because we were just so jacked about StarCraft 2 after BlizzCon. So if you're not...
I haven't actually had a chance to listen to this episode yet, but I'm so excited for it because I feel like I saw the trailer for Legacy of the Void and I wanted to watch the StarCraft finals and I wanted to get my hands on actually playing it, and I didn't do either one of those things. And I feel like that was my greatest failing of BlizzCon, was how much I just didn't get StarCraft info. So
well, then you're the target
so
demographic
excited
for this episode. So you're the target demographic for this episode then.
Perfect.
We talk about a lot of it. We also get just a little nerdy. So if you're
I can't even imagine how that would happen.
If you're unfamiliar with it, StarCast was the very first podcast I ever did. Kyle and myself did it for 186 episodes, then took a big, fat, long break. We did a new one just this past week for BlizzCon 2014, so go check it out. It's amove.tv/StarCast, or just look up StarCast on whatever podcast catcher gets your catches your fancy. So, anyways, speaking of BlizzCon goodies, we've got a big fat goodie for you today. I actually got a chance to sit down with a few of the members of Team 5 at BlizzCon and talk to them about Goblins versus Gnomes. The audio isn't up to our usual standards, so just please excuse that. I didn't know I was going to be able to lock down an interview until last minute, so all I had was one microphone, a monopod, and an iPhone. So it's a little stitched together, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with the results given the turnaround time. And also, big fat thanks to Lindsay and Team 5 for scheduling this so last minute. I couldn't believe they fit me in. But this is an interview with Rachelle Davis, Hearthstone's software engineer. You can follow her on Twitter at _Z33G_. Also, Rachelle, what is up with that Twitter account? Ben Brode is there, as he always is when it comes to Team 5 on The Angry Chicken. Follow him on Twitter at BDBrode. And Yong Woo, Hearthstone's producer, is there, and you can find him at Cataclysm78. So, anyways, I'm gonna roll this and enjoy the interview.
Woot!
Well, hello everyone. I am here getting real cozy with three members of Team 5, which all of you, if you're watching the show, should know make the game we play, called Hearthstone. I'm here with friends of the show, Yong Woo, Ben Brode, and first time talking to Rachelle here. So Rachelle, you're a software engineer?
I am software engineer on the project. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Ben's Ben is you're a veteran of being on the Angry Chicken.
Yes.
Yeah. And Yong, you've never actually been on before.
I'm so excited to be here. Every time Ben Brode is on the show, I'm seething with jealousy. Like I'm lurking in your Twitch chat, just waiting to pounce. But then I log out.
Yeah. Now, Yong, you were actually the first person from Team 5 to start making me very nervous because you started tweeting at the show like after an episode. I'm like, oh no, people that matter are listening to it. I'm concerned.
No.
So like,
listen to
I'm like, and then I'm just like, oh, I hope I don't say anything horribly awful.
Oh no,
like,
you guys have a wonderful show. I listen to it all the time. So does Brode and Rachelle. So this is awesome to be here.
So anyway, it's kind of a big weekend for you all. We were all expecting to hear about the expansion. I don't think we were expecting you guys to just be like, oh, by the way, we're gonna pretend this isn't Blizzard and say that it's coming out next month. So how did that? I mean, what is the development process for Goblins versus Gnomes, or is it Gnomes versus Goblins?
Goblins versus
Gnomes.
You can remember if you sing the tune, Goblins and Gnomes, Goblins and Gnomes. That's save you the rest of the song.
So we've had you on a few times, and we've all, it's always, hey, we want this, that, and the other, and you're always reminding us that, hey, we're still the smallest team at Blizzard. So how has the development process been like with Goblins or Goblins versus Gnomes?
It's been incredible. I mean, really, the guy in charge of the development process is Yong Woo, so he's probably best to answer this question.
Keeping us all in line.
Yeah, because it seems like you guys are making really good time on it. Like, all of us, like, I turned to Dills, and we were just like, this is Blizzard, right? Like, they didn't change.
Sure, yeah. I mean, look, I think one of the things we're really trying with the Hearthstone team is figure out ways to make really awesome stuff with fewer people and quicker. So that's something we're really working towards. In terms of, you should really thank Ben Brode for how quickly we're getting this content out the door. He's really been the champion of making really cool stuff and being so excited about getting into the hands of the players. So, yeah. And the other thing to note is, by the time you guys get your hands on some of this awesome new content, like by the time say you guys were enjoying the Curse of Naxxramas,
Right.
The way the kind of development cycle works out, we're already really deep into working on the next thing. So. It might seem like, wow, I just finished, Kel'Thuzad. I just beat Kel'Thuzad in Heroic. And it's like, oh my god, like, Goblins vs. Gnomes is coming out in 2 months. We're actually, neck deep in the next thing, really trying to swim our way out. So, we're going to continue to kind of work really hard to keep making cool stuff quickly.
Awesome. So, there's a lot of new cards in this, and I had luckily a chance to really play a lot of Goblins vs. Gnomes so far. We've got the Mage deck and the Priest deck that playable on the floor, which is all I was playing. So I was like, I'm going to win.
One win. And during the panel, you really focused on the goblin and the gnome nature of the cards. But then when I sat down and I played the game, I noticed that we are getting just like actual spells and stuff that are just flavored for the classes. Is every class getting new class-specific cards that are more just themed? Like there's a priest spell. It's Velen's
Chosen.
Velen's Chosen,
Yes.
right? And it's just a priest-flavored spell.
priest
Nothing
spell.
goblin,
Yeah.
nothing gnome about it. I was very excited to see that. As someone who played a lot of WoW, not a huge fan of the short races. I was like, oh, good. There's still epic in here.
Yes, destroy them.
This is your opportunity to let them know how much of a fan you are not of them.
Let the hate out.
Therapeutic, really.
Yeah.
We worked really hard to make sure the death sounds were really satisfying for the goblins and the nose. Yeah.
Awesome. So,
We've gone to a really dark place quickly.
so are every class getting new class-specific spells, or some getting class-specific minions?
Yes, and yes. And where we have the opportunity, we are trying to flavor those spells to feel like they belong in the Goblins and versus Gnomes expansion. There may be some more bombs and explosives of different varieties. We're trying to really make them it feel like a cohesive theme here. So, yeah, there's a lot of new spells, and we haven't announced a ton of them yet, but we have a great rollout plan. We're going to announce a lot of stuff over the next until the launch next month.
Well,
So giddy. I mean, look, this thing's coming out next month, right? We only have so much time to tell you about all the cool stuff. So it's coming, guys. It's coming, guys.
yeah, and then the other thing that made us all perk up over at the Angry Chicken is we may or may not be trying to plan a tournament at the moment. And we were like, oh, we'll do it right after BlizzCon. And then this dropped, and then the bomb that spectator mode is coming. So we're like, I think we're going to delay said tournament
Oh, yeah.
so that it's significantly less work. So can you talk a little bit more about spectator mode? Like, I know we're very excited about, obviously, being able to see both players in-game in real time. Could you expand on it at all? I'm not sure how much you could talk about it.
Sure, I can give you some flavor. So spectator mode is going to be coming along with Goblins vs. Gnomes when it hits computers everywhere in December. And it's got the ability to view your friends when they're playing their games. You can have up to 10 of your friends watching you play. You can decide if you want to go solo and you don't want to have anybody heckling you. You can also decide to not have friends invited. You can choose to be invite only or to be open to your friends.
Okay.
And then if you are open to your friends, they can just jump right in. You'll see them pop up on the bottom left of your screen. It'll say, Yong Woo is watching you play. And then he may or may not try to give you bad advice. Don't listen to him. Unless it's priest, then listen to him. And you'll also have the ability for tournament settings. If you are the judge of the tournament, you can be friends with both players, and then you can be invited by both players to watch. Now you must be friends with both, so there's no funny business there. There's no room for cheating or any of that. But if both friends say okay, then you'll be able to see open hands on both sides. In addition to all of that, no matter how you're spectating, you'll be able to zoom in on whatever it is you want to see. So if you see a card drop that you haven't seen before, because there's so many new ones, over 120 with Goblins vs. Gnomes, you can zoom right in there and see the card text. You can also zoom on the history and see, what just happened.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's going to be a lot easier, I think, for the tournament setting, but also for the casual setting, just to be able to kind of be right in there with your friends, no matter where you are.
Yeah, it's going to be great for coaching and all kinds of stuff.
During the development of spectator mode, Derek Sakamoto, the senior UI designer, put in some temporary text. When somebody spectates you, it says, Yong Woo is behind you, spectating you. And it was so creepy. We were like, oh my gosh, stop watching my game. It's significantly less creepy now.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say so-and-so is judging you.
Yeah. They are, though. A lot of the time, yeah. I randomly, when I'm playing, people yell from across the room, that was a terrible play, you suck. So, it does happen. But usually they're very positive, and it's just really fun to watch your friends play. It's a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, really, we were so excited about spectator mode because how fun it is for us to play at the office. It's just the vibe is totally different. Like you log in, you start playing, and then suddenly, bro will be like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. They're like, okay, I got it. I got this one. And then Rachelle would swing by, and it's like, oh wow, is this your new priest deck? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and it's going crazy. So I wouldn't do that. But that's that's what really makes Hearthstone special to me. Is like when you really hang out with your friend and you're chatting them up and kind of having the shared experience. So
I feel like that's for a lot of us, especially those who came in and had already played other TCGs. Like it's a social thing, and for nerds, anything that like forces us to be social, it's a good thing, and we embrace it. So yeah, well that's exciting. I wanted to touch again real quick on Spectator as far as the like people's concern, because I've seen around the web people have been concerned like, oh well, if I spectate my friend's game, can I see the other dude's cards and I can tell them what's going on? And you absolutely cannot see the other players' cards. Like if someone jumped in my ranked game, they could not see my opponent's cards because they're only seeing my view.
Unless they were friends with both you and your opponent, and you both say yes, then you can't see it. There's no cheating.
Okay, so it's possible, but incredibly unlikely.
Yeah,
If I'm just randoming on ranked.
Cheating in that way is impossible because there needs to be consent.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah, exactly. So that wouldn't be cheating at that point. You're like, hey, look, I might as well like stream my video to you. It would be like that.
Okay, just like stream sniping on Twitch or something. It's like it happens, but
yeah, even better than that because you need to be friends
Right.
again, friends with both people. And like, hey, here, please give him all my information. Like if you're that guy, then yes.
awesome. That's good to know. So you talked a little bit yesterday, Ben, about randomness in the game, and you championed it, I think, in a really good and eloquent way. Because I think randomness can be fun. That doesn't mean that I don't want to put my fist through my desk at some times when certain things don't go my way. Our camera girl could attest to that.
Sorry about your desk.
And I just real quick wanted to talk about like I had a real quick personal epiphany with one of the cards that you showed yesterday, which was Bouncing Blade. Which immediately I was like, I will never play this card. And then very quickly I was like, well, actually, it's warrior specific, so it's gonna work really well in enraged decks. You have a lot of weapons with warrior. It might put things in range of a weapon that previously wasn't in range. I want to give you a quick scenario that Dills, Jocelyn, and I were chatting about last night. And I said, no, that will work, and I'm curious. If someone drops like a Ysera 412 and it's the only thing on the board, does it just ping Ysera till it dies?
Yeah, it's like Deadly Shot at that point. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's gonna play Bouncing Blade.
Done. Yes. All right. Delightful. So, are there any other random elements? Maybe that's out. Obviously, you probably don't want to talk about cards that haven't been announced, but any that you're very excited about?
Are you asking if there's things I'm excited about that we haven't announced yet?
Well, no. Of the things
The answer is yes, but not going to get a lot of action.
No. Of the things you can talk about. Is there a certain card with a random element that that you're a big fan of and you want to spotlight?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Unstable Portal, probably one of my favorite cards in the game. It's just so exciting. Really, you have no idea what you're going to get out of that thing, and often it's from a different class. And you're like, oh my gosh, Flametongue Totem and Unleash the Hounds together? Like, I guess that they're Flametongue Totem's a minion, so you can get it from Unstable Portal, and now this is so different. Like, it changes everything. And so there's a lot of interactions that were basically never before possible that are actually, no, it's not possible because one's a Shaman, one's a Hunter card.
I
Anyway.
did see an Unstable Portal produce a Jiraxis yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was, yeah.
It's wonderful. It's just there's so many different things that you have to like. The pieces start coming together, and
blows your mind for a moment. You're just like, what? I can become Jiraxis, says Jaina? What does that even mean? Who gets to win, Mage or Warlock?
Yeah, I was playing against Katie yesterday, and she was the mage, and she played a Defius Ringleader, got the combo and everything. I'm just like, what is going on? What happened? I had to go back through the history. I'm like, oh, Unstable Portal. Oh, that's cool. So well done.
I did see a guy yesterday who found me and said he played that card twice and got whisked both times. So it can stink sometimes, but usually, I mean, given the range of all minions that are possible, usually you get great value out of that card, and it is super fun.
And this dude who got whisked twice came up to you and talked to you about it, and now we're talking about it here, and it's I'm sorry for him, but it's hilarious.
It's a good story.
I hope he gets it the third time. I'm sorry, dude.
We'd have to be able to put a third Unstable Portal, but
That's true.
Arena, I guess.
He somehow figured this out somehow. Thought steal twice.
Well, I know you guys we're all short for time, and you got more interviews, so I'll let you guys go. And again, Ben, Rachelle, Yong, thank you guys so much. I mean, Hearthstone is just it's amazing, and it's going to get even more amazing in December. It looks like so. So thank you guys very much, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Goblins versus Gnomes to be unleashed.
It's gonna be mega.
Mega? Is that our new word, mega? Alright, we gotta redo all the marketing pamphlets. It's gonna be mega.
I love all the Matter Bomber, the Mega Wind Fury.
There's a lot more of that.
Great.
There's also some Pine Sides. Awesome. I mean, come on, Gnomes. Come on.
Yes.
You still there, Jocelyn?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
I totally went back to the 3-plate layout like a noob.
Yep,
All
I
right.
saw that.
All right.
Yeah, that was a really good interview. You need to remember that they need to be mic'd like this.
Oh, thank you, Jocelyn. Yeah. What you couldn't see was the complete and utter lack of slack I had on that microphone. If I leaned any far forward, it would have just unplugged itself. So
I'm just teasing you. That was a really great interview.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, oh man, they're so nice and so forthcoming with information and passionate about the game. Like, just, man, thank you so much, guys, for letting Garrett interview you, because that was amazing. Amazing.
yeah, it was a really good time, and now I have a whole year to get a better on the fly interview rig together. So, yeah. We found out we were getting a press pass 3 days before the con. I'm sorry.
It was a little thrown together.
I'm perfectly stoked as hell that it came out as well as it did. I remember after the fact being like, "Oh my god, I don't think you're gonna be able to hear a damn thing." But it was salvageable. It worked. It was all good. So, big thanks to our buddy Locke Vincent, who helped clean up the audio for that, because it was on the low side. There was a lot of background noise, so he helped me out, because I always have issues with video, especially. So check out Locke's website. He's got a website up for gaming. It's gamingalchemy.com. And also shout out to Katie, who was my my camera girl for that day, and I think did a bang up job considering she had an iPhone to work with. So
Yeah, the video actually looked really good.
yeah, iPhone works great on the fly. It's really good. I just need a longer damn microphone cord. So, anyways, hope you all enjoyed that. Let's take some crazy game stories, shall we?
Has the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
You can send your crazy game stories to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our first one today comes to us from Rachelle. The phonetic didn't even help me on that. I'm sorry.
I know. I looked at that and I was like, "Oh, that's still tough."
Rachelle? Yeah, that doesn't. Rachelle. It does not flow. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. I'm bad at it. I apologize. Anyway, they write, "Hey, greetings," or "heh, greetings." Is it like a laugh, like a heh, greetings?
It's the warrior.
Ah,
Greetings.
That's what it is. Ha, greetings.
Exactly.
Gotcha. I would read the rest of this in Garash's voice, but I don't want to sound like I did after BlizzCon, so I'm not going to do that. I recently built the most insane rushdown deck I've ever owned and took it on to test on the ladder. First 2 matches were so incredibly good I decided to try another that night, and as my luck would have it, I was up against a Burst Lock Zoo deck. He opened strong with a Flame Imp, and I played Coin Fiery War Axe. The more damage I take, the better, and that'll become clear soon. The match played on with fairly good trades on either end, and I was taking a fair amount of damage, as was the Warlock. He slammed down a Defender of Argus on a Flame Imp and a Shattered Sun Cleric, but this deck of mine isn't about to take that. I silence one taunt and hit the other with the first charge of my Death Spite. At this point, I was down to 16 health, and I had my secret weapon locked and loaded. With the net decker at 15 health, he throws that word out like a branding of shame.
Oh, yeah.
All he needed to do was hit me for 12 to 15, and victory would be mine. If he did less than 12, I'd be able to get him next turn. He hand-dumped. Argent Commander, Leper Gnome, and Soulfire all came out. With the other minions he had on the board, he hit me for 15 damage. The smile on my face. With a 4-1's death bite out, I thanked my opponent for doing just enough damage to assure my victory and dropped a Korkron Elite and deployed my secret weapon, a 10-8 Molten Giant with charge, which cost me only 3 mana. I hit him in the face with my Corcoran, then my Giant, then my weapon, pushing him into lethal. I outbursted a burst lock with a well-played to gloat. I leapt from my chair and performed a celebratory fist bump before realizing something was amiss. The Leper Gnome. My Death's Bite killed it, and because of all effects in play must trigger before death is finalized, the Leper Gnome killed me. I managed to let an oops slip as I fell to the inn's floor, dying of leprosy. It was a tie. The Warlock had brought me down with him. Long time fan of the show. Keep up the good work. You deserve it after this gloat-worthy train ride you have taken us on.
I really, really enjoyed that story. I knew it was long, and I was just like, nope, you know what? We're keeping it.
Yeah, no. I like that ride, man. There were twists and turns. It was great. You deserve to lose.
It was very well crafted.
Or not to lose, to tie.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Plus, I love dying to the Leper Gnome. That just makes me so happy. I love that little gnome. It's the only gnome that
way he
really
wrote
has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, the way he wrote it. As I fell to the inn's floor dying of leprosy. I'd love it if that was like a way like a magic game ended. If I was in person playing someone, okay, oh no, leprosy, and then just die. Great. Anyway, you want to take the next one?
Absolutely, and it's super short. This one comes in from Rivalden. Said, after hearing Dills drop the hint about using a wisp in rogue decks to boost Van Cleef, I put some in my deck. A few games in, I was able to drop Backstab, Wisp, Coin, and Van Cleef for a 10-10 on turn 2. It was so satisfying. He lasted until turn 4 when he got sheeped. Keep up the awesome work. I told you wisps are good. They have their uses.
No, they don't.
10-10 turn 2.
Yeah, and how often is this going to happen statistically, Jocelyn?
50-50?
No. And Jocelyn and Dills isn't here to back you up.
Oh, man. But he totally would.
He would, in a trolley fashion, armed with no facts whatsoever. So, with that in mind, thank you for your crazy game stories this week, guys. Those were some good ones. Let's take some emails.
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
You can send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com as well. Our first one today comes to us from Briscoe, who writes, well met, peeved poultry. I was also in disbelief that Blizzard announced a new Hearthstone expansion that I did not have to wait months or years for. However, was a specific release date within December given? Also, I noticed the gnome in Blizzard's desktop art appeared to have their own gnome-themed card back. Perhaps that is a preview of what we will see in December. If the beginning of the show was any indication, no release date has been given.
Yeah, I completely forgot that this question was actually in here on emails. So go back about an hour and see our discussion about when we think the release date might be.
As to Briscoe's second point, I think he's totally right. Or she. We're not sure.
Because the Goblin is clearly playing with the Goblin card back. So yeah, Gnome card back and probably in December.
Exactly. That I'm pretty damn sure of.
It's kind of a cool way to do a preview, just like hide it in some of the, promotional art and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's also a card back. It's not like a game-breaking card. It's not like we're
yes, yeah.
I can see this card in the gnome's hand, and it's a 4-mana 5/5. Oh, my God. That's not...
That would be so cool.
It's a card back. That's cool, and it's nice if they did it that way. So, anyways, Jocelyn, who's our next email from?
Next email comes to us from Tyler. He says, hey, peeps. Peeps. I just got that now.
What? Oh.
Chicken, chicks, peep.
I get it now. I've eaten so many of those, I can't stand them anymore.
Anyways, I have an idea that would change the shaman power, but not completely overhaul it. To keep this short, I find every other hero power is a known factor. Warlock is the only debatable one, but it is better overall because, card draw. I find myself either wasting 2 mana at times or playing reactionary on my own turn. So here are my 2 suggested changes. Either instead of guessing what you're going to get for a totem, change the hero power button to show the totem you're going to get. This can still change to a random totem every turn. However, at least now you aren't praying to the totem gods that you don't get a healing totem when you need the spell power or taunt. Your play can be adjusted accordingly without wasting 2 mana. Overload wastes enough as it is. 2, you could try keeping the RNG idea by clicking the totem icon, pay the 2 mana toll, and get to choose between 2 totems that are generated at random. The graphic could look similar to what you do when you choose taunt or charge for the Druid of the Bear, which that's not the name of the card, but I know what he's talking about. Clearly a shaman player and not a druid player.
Yeah.
But he says, with this, you still may or may not get what you want, but it still has a chance to help you out. So I thought this was a really cool idea, and I wanted to get your kind of 2 cents on it, because I've always felt that the shaman, it's just their hero power is, because it's so random, it really feels underpowered compared to a lot of the others. So I don't, Garrett, what do you think about this?
Are you sure you wanted to get my thoughts on this? Have you podcasted with me before? Are you sure you want my thoughts?
Yes, I want all of your thoughts.
No. This will never happen.
Okay, that's not actually all of your thoughts. That's a word.
This will never happen. Never in a million years. I would love to have this, because then I would be a broken, unstoppable marauder of death.
Well, and that's kind of why I think option 1 better than option 2, with like a different random totem every turn, but just having that extra little bit of information. Because I find, man, I waste so much mana, and you're always sitting there guessing, and I'm the one who likes RNG. I like the random elements of the game, except for this hero power, because everybody else knows exactly what their hero power is going to do as soon as it happens.
Yeah, but everyone else doesn't have the potential of a spell power totem that can have such a huge, massive, raging, absurd, make the crowd scream and joy when it happens in a live event effect on the game.
But that's only 1 totem out of 4,
and
right?
The other totems,
the flame one, you can get the
and the other totems, except for searing, have a good effect on the board as well, depending on the scenario. And if you could see the totem you were going to get, you would only ever utilize it in a scenario that is good for you. And since 3 out of the 4, in my opinion, are really good and can be exceptionally good in given scenarios, I think that'd be too powerful for the shaman.
I thought you didn't like the healing totem either.
In certain scenarios, the healing totem is good. Certain totem's garbage. I hate it. Kill it with fire, make it go away.
Can you kill it with fire? It's searing.
Well, since it's a 1/1,
kill it with water?
Since it's a 1/1, you can kill it by sneezing.
Okay.
But no, I think knowing when to take that bet is a really important skill to get in with as a shaman, or also, when it's kind of a known quantity now because we've played for a while, but to a new player, it's that epiphany when you realize that, oh, I can game the system if I already have 1 or 2 totems out. I know I won't get one of those 1 or 2 totems. So
that's true. It takes away some of the randomness when you have multiples out.
And again, it's layering skill into a random element. And if there's an overarching theme to today's episode, I think it's that.
True.
Obviously, I would love to have this. I would play the shit out of Shaman if I could do this, but it'll never happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chat room's also mentioning the Paladin hero power, which I completely forgot about. Yeah, that power sucks.
It does, but it's not terrible. It's a known quantity. It's something you do just because.
But still.
And honestly,
it's searing totems, but for paladins.
Right. But with things like equality and whatnot, it makes it much better.
I guess
equality's existence makes those tokens worth more.
That's true.
Back in the day, when we were playing the oh my god, what is the freaking sword that buffs everyone 1/1? Why can't I remember the name of the sword?
Oh, is that the Light's Justice one?
No.
Oh, no, wait, which one? Oh, shit.
Light's Justice is that really bad 1/4 isn't it?
Yes.
Why can't I think of that? But it's not really a deck that's played anymore. But because also you got to think about totem.
I have to look it up now.
Totem is also something that you do when you have 2 extra mana, and it can Sword of Justice. Thank you, Shino Dex. The Sword of Justice. That's the,
I had the justice part right.
Yeah. Right. No, it's the other one is the lights whatever. I can't remember because it's unplayable. Anyway, yeah, it's just there's a lot of times as a shaman you just play the totem because you have 2 extra mana and nothing else to do, and there's a lot of times where it ends up being better than the paladin hero power as a result. So I don't know. I like it the way it is. I was really down on it in the early days, but the more and more I play Hearthstone, the more I like it. So, also as a spectator, man, those shaman games are exciting as a result.
That's true. Yeah, shaman games are really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. And I always love keeping the spectator in mind. It's less of a. I feel like there's very few people who spectate Hearthstone that don't play, whereas coming from StarCraft, there's a lot of huge StarCraft fans that don't really play a lot of StarCraft. It's less common. Yeah, Jocelyn.
Me.
Jocelyn, you play. You're just not in high leagues, and that's totally fine. Yes. But yeah, it's still I don't know. Go if you guys don't believe me, you need to go to a live Hearthstone event. Holy crap, man! BlizzCon this year.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Man.
Watching Firebat almost die being drowned by confetti.
I didn't realize till I got home, but I had confetti in the bottom of my bag, so it's actually up on my shelf now. Confetti from the first Hearthstone World Championship.
Oh, that's delightful.
Because it was freaking everywhere.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's so good. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Like again, just to put a pin in this in Tyler's email. Yeah, I'd love to have this power. I don't think it'll ever happen, and I don't necessarily agree with it. Doesn't mean I wouldn't like to play a shaman this way.
It is really interesting, though. I feel like balance designer in Hearthstone would be such a cool job. And so complicated at the same time. Because, I mean, like, all of this stuff, like, this seems like a fairly small change. Like, instead of having no idea what totem you're going to get, instead, you know, it just randomly changes every turn, but you have that knowledge. And all of a sudden, just having that knowledge becomes way overpowered. Even though it's the same set of 4 random totems, it's the same mana cost, but just, like, having to take in what does each player gain or lose based on this small change, like, oh man, must be the coolest job ever.
Yeah, I feel like balance designer on any game that is played by actual people would be really cool and also horrifying at the same time. It's just like, oh god, people care about this. If I screw it up, oof, it's got to be some scary stuff. But yeah, no, it's got to be an interesting job, especially for Hearthstone, especially when you have your first expansion is Goblins versus Gnomes, and just so far what the mission statement of this expansion seems to be. I am sure it was a blast on the at the whiteboard meetings. Like, all right, guys, what do we think? Just shoot them out, and just like, what if we had a shredder and when it dies, a random minion from the entire game just parachutes onto the board. It could be a Wisp, it could be a Ragnaros, and then I can see Ben Brode just looking at him and just being like, somebody get that mana computer, make this card right now. I don't know. That's how I like to romanticize Hearthstone development in my head. So, our final email today comes to us from Sethify, who says, "Hi, TAC. It is unfortunate that from the release of Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion onwards, Arena will exclusively give GVG packs instead of classic packs. While this is great for players who have amassed an extensive collection of cards from the original set, this change makes it significantly more difficult for newer players to collect cards from the original set. Ben Brode stated that it would be a UI hassle to offer player a choice at the start of each arena run, but I don't see how much UI complexity that would introduce, given players are obviously offered a choice of whether to purchase classic packs or Goblins vs. Gnomes packs. Some people have suggested to replace the pack with a pack token, which would easily solve this issue, or even make the given pack random. This change is going to make original set a lot more inaccessible to newer players, and given that the original set is more than thrice the size of Goblins vs. Gnomes, I think the game is just going to be more inaccessible to people who would otherwise be able to get a decent collection via the arena. Hope this issue gets more attention so that Blizzard would fix it. I think it's getting plenty of attention since Soraya commented on it directly in the official forums. And
I think this email came in before the Soraya post on it.
Gotcha. No, I mean, people were talking about it at BlizzCon. And I don't mean just like dude who plays Hearthstone talking to the dude who plays Hearthstone. That's kind of the cool thing of BlizzCon. It was like, dude who plays Hearthstone just waltzes up to Hearthstone developer.
Dude
and
who
says,
makes Hearthstone.
Hey, this sucks, and this is why I think it sucks. Of course, when you're talking to people's faces, you're usually a lot nicer about it. So it was like, hey, I understand what you're thinking. Maybe we should do it this other way.
I don't know. I disagree with this. I think that keeping the arena up to date with whatever the expansion is makes a lot of sense. It's not like they're making classic packs unavailable. You can still buy them for gold. You can still, as far as I know, you can still buy them for real money as well, right? It's just strictly arena rewards that are being changed.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Satisfy is really hammering like inaccessible. It's really not. It's literally one facet of the game is now GVG exclusive, and that's a pack or two you might win from arena. You definitely get one. You might get two if you do really well. You can still just go buy a pack of whatever the hell you want for 100 gold, which is 50 gold cheaper than an arena run, or money. So it's not, to me, I don't see it as that inaccessible. I'm curious if Satisfy only runs arena and that's the only way he or she gets packs, but I don't understand this. Obviously,
I don't understand kind of the just people being so upset about arena. I mean, we've always championed arena as the best way to get cards because you get the experience of playing with things that you wouldn't otherwise. And that experience isn't going away. It's not like arena is now built solely on GVG cards. That's just strictly your pack reward at the end is going to be a GVG pack. So since they're not changing the experience of arena, it's still a valid way to learn the cards, to get a chance to play with stuff you don't have. You get a shit ton of gold as well, which you can always use to go buy classic packs if you need to. I don't know. I think that this is the right choice by Blizzard, and I don't think that it needs fixing necessarily, especially before we've even had a chance to test it out.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I don't think Satisfy, name also hard to say, it's completely wrong. I mean, obviously, I don't see anything wrong with just giving a token. I don't want any more normal packs. He has a point. Yes, new players may prefer the option. Obviously, what Team 5's trying to do is keep it as simple as possible and as unified as possible. So to them, it's just, well, whatever the latest set is, that's the new pack. That's the pack you're getting in arena. It's only one choice, just to streamline things and make it simpler. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Another point I forgot to bring up is they're not introducing a new form of dust. So you can still DE your Goblins versus Gnomes cards and make whatever cards you want because they're not introducing a different form of dust, which I said on the show they weren't going to do, and everyone said I was crazy.
I mean, I thought that there was a possibility that they might do it. I never, wasn't sure really how I felt about them doing different kinds of dust. I can see both sides. It would be really cool. But then especially seeing kind of what's come out of this decision in arena, I mean, that obviously having different kinds of dust would have been a really, really bad decision that the community really wouldn't have been on board with. So I think the ability to get rid of things you don't want and make things you do want is just another reason why what pack you get awarded in arena, not that it's not a huge deal, but I think it's being blown out of proportion a little, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, I don't get it, because it's just like, well, literally every other way you can get cards and packs is unchanged, and choice remains. If they're just trying to simplify one aspect of prizes, I personally don't see anything wrong with it. But I also, if they came out tomorrow and said, hey, we're going to change it, we give you a token, it's good for one pack of your choosing, go for it. But I also feel like, I mean, Zariah said earlier they were looking at the long term, so 20 expansions from now, a new player would be a bit daunted if there's 20 packs to choose from, and I can see why you're having just, well, here's the latest one, would be just a simpler route to go to keep things moving and streamline the process. So I'm not sure what the right answer is, and I'm not honestly sure that, Team 5 knows what the right answer is, because obviously they're saying, listen, we're open to feedback. I kind of agree with you, Jocelyn. It's just like, can the game come out first before everyone freaks the hell out?
Well, that's the thing. We haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah. I don't know. This week just seems it's also this week. I feel like a lot of people are kind of a little angry at Blizzard for other reasons. There was some rough things in Blizzard Town this week, so I feel like some people are just hot under the collar. But yeah, I don't know. At the moment, the argument could be made that once Goblins versus Gnomes comes out, there's only gonna be 2 different types of decks or packs to buy. So who gives a crap? Give us a token, let us choose. And when there is 20 expansions, deal with it then. And that might, the more I think about it, I think I like that answer the most. So I don't know. I'm not sure is my answer to this.
Fair enough.
I am taken aback by the aggression, and I'm not sure what the right answer is. So there's that. And I'll end it there. So any closing thoughts, Jocelyn?
Nope.
Cool. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of The Angry Chicken. As always, we really want to thank you guys that support us on Patreon over at it's at patreon.com/TAC. If you enjoy the show, you can opt in to subscribe over there. The show will always be free. It still is. It's just a way to support the show if you see fit. If you really like it, go check it out. Patrons get access to the Angry Chicken After Show VOD and the TAC Skype account for our once-a-month call-in episodes, so that there's little perks we're throwing out at our patrons. This week, I wanted to thank Mike K., Declan H., Jake, Jeremy M., and Jeffrey W. Thank you all very much. And Declan, again, Declan is a guy who has given an absurd amount to the show, so I just wanted to just be like, tell him you are crazy, and thank you very much. And then also iTunes. We always love iTunes reviews. So this week from the US store, I wanted to thank Crime_Alley, Agblade, who said this is the best podcast for news about Magic, WoW, and San Francisco Giants. JH Blues 7609, Mist Gohan, and Fatal Strikes. Thank you all very much for your iTunes review. So go check it out. If you listen to the show in audio only podcast form and you haven't left us a review in the podcatcher of your choice, please do. We'd really appreciate it. As always, The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and the Frog Pants Studios. You can email us at tacpodcast@gmail.com. All of our past live shows and other videos can be found on youtube.com/starcastshow. That's STARCASTSHOW, because I can't change my YouTube domain. Damn it. I would love to, but I can't. Go to /loot.com, spell out / for the Angry Chicken t-shirt. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. We record live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv or on the mobile stream on alphageekradio.com. And check out briangriffithmusic.com for the musician who made our intro music. Jocelyn, where can folks find you?
Best way to find me and everything I'm doing is to follow GIS Gamer on Twitter. I am also right here on AMove TV every Friday night for the Gamers In. We've been having a lot of fun. We just had our BlizzCon wrap-up episode, which was amazing. And yeah, so that's every Friday night at 8:30 on AMove TV.
I love me some Gamers In. It's good. It's a good show.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun.
I never did get to come on and talk about Destiny. And now I feel like it'll never happen because I just come on and be like, I wish I didn't buy this game.
I know, you guys were so super stoked.
I was so super. I have never been this disappointed by a game in my life.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, we're having so much fun with the community and stuff too, and all the games that are coming out with lots of multiplayer things. And we're doing streaming every Thursday night for sure. I've been streaming a whole lot on Twitch as well. So that's another place you can find me, GIS Gamer on Twitch. Lots of streaming. It's so much fun. You guys are great. Chat room, great.
Yeah, only had to ban one person tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Garrett Art. There's 2 T's in Garrett. A lot of people spell it with 1. You won't find me if you just put 1 T in there. You can also find me at nomoonart.com. Yes, it is a Star Wars reference, and no, I don't think I made any in today's episode. That's my graphic design portfolio. There's also a forum over there where if you need a freelance graphic designer, you can contact me. So go do that if you need a graphic designer. Don't do it just to tell me I smell funny. I would appreciate it, so thank you. Also check out Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast I do with Kyle Ferguson. And also, we did a new, like I said in the middle of the show, we did a new episode of Starcast. So look up StarCast, the StarCraft podcast on iTunes or wherever you can find podcasts, and check it out.
So is it a special, or are you back?
We're not back. As a matter of fact,
Damn.
I'll put the call out here as well. StarCastShow@gmail.com is the email for StarCast. And we're not sure what the future of the show looks like, so we're asking for suggestions. We're thinking maybe once a month, maybe just do it when there's a big announcement. Who knows? But if you have suggestions of what you think StarCast should become, shoot a suggestion to StarCastShow@gmail.com and listen to the new episode, because we had a lot of fun making it. I came away more surprised and excited about StarCraft 2 from BlizzCon than I think anything else. I went in knowing, like, we're totally right. Angry Chicken's been insane this year. So much has happened with this show this year that we didn't expect, and it's been awesome and insane and nuts. So I went into BlizzCon just like, I'm going to just all Hearthstone all the time. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and there's probably going to be a new IP, and that's probably going to be awesome. And I got those two things, and they were. I wasn't expecting to leave the show wanting Legacy of the Void tomorrow.
I know.
Like, I was like shaking, and going into the WCS stage, which we sang the praises of the Hearthstone stage, and I don't want to take anything away from it. It was amazing. It was very well done, and the crowd was amazing. But the WCS StarCraft stage was an experience unlike I have never had before.
Yep. And I didn't even get to watch a game. I just walked into that arena and went, oh my God, this is amazing. It was like rock stars. I love that these gamers are being treated like freaking rock stars.
as they should be.
Yes.
I've been all over the map this year in esports. I've been watching a lot of Dota. I've been watching a crap ton of Hearthstone. I've watched a lot less StarCraft than I usually do, and getting to sit down and enjoy some WCS again this year at BlizzCon has really solidified it for me that StarCraft 2 is the end-all be-all greatest esport ever. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. There is no other. So, man, go see a live StarCraft event if you ever have the chance. It's amazing. So, anywho, with that being said, check out our sponsors, doghouse-systems.com. The code to use is TAC. That'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. Got a tweet from someone this week, I guess, who ordered one using our code because they were just like, yeah, double memory, thanks, TAC. So enjoy that, because it's the rig I use, and I love it. And I know you've got one too, Jocelyn.
I do, and I love it.
She cuddles with it at night. She unplugs it, and she sleeps with her tower.
I snuggle.
I'm sure it keeps you nice and warm with how cold it is up there right now.
It's actually not bad where I am.
Oh, okay.
It's unfortunate. I'm getting rain, not snow.
It's probably unsafe. You should probably unplug it while you're sleeping, at least. So, anywho, that'll do it for this week's episode of The Angry Chicken. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Job's done.
Job's done.
Yeah!
Yeah, that's not the line.
I was trying to do a silly voice. Loss! There we go. We'll just do that.